Ashley, I said that we don't deserve you in this studio or this format.
Wow.
And I even said, we don't need to make her sing. Because, to me, you're like the best.
Thanks.
And they were like, no, Ashley's like, shoot, she was happy to sing. I'm like, are you sure?
Oh, yeah, I'll be singing. If I wasn't here, I'd be singing at the house.
Well, just know. I was like, we don't have to make her sing. I'm just happy she's going to come up and see us here.
I'm just tickled to come chat.
Well, I
just got back from Arkansas, too. So.
What do you do when you go home? Was it a home thing or a show thing?
I played in Fort Smith, which is where Mom is, and I played in El Dorado. My dad's people were from around El Dorado and Pine Bluff.
Isn't it funny when you go home how many new relatives you didn't know you had till you're doing a show?
Literally met a new relative. And the only way because she just went to the venue lady and was like, I'm Ashley's cousin. And they came and they're like, do you know this person? I said, that doesn't sound familiar to me. I don't know a lot about my dad's side of the family, though. So they said, she's got a picture of you and your grandfather. And I said, is it granddaddy or is it papa? Because then I'm going to know if they're lying. Mm-hmm. So they said, granddaddy. And then they brought me the picture. And I was like, I wonder who that is. So I call Mama and we work it out. That it's my grandmother's sister, so my great aunt's daughter.
Well, they're stretching, yelling picture. Cousin at the door, huh?
Right.
They're like, I'm her cousin. Here's a picture of people.
Yeah, but I got to hug a new cousin.
Yeah, I wonder why she just wouldn't call somebody and say, like, hey, your cousin's coming, and not just show up at the venue.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
And now I got a picture of me and my granddad I didn't have.
See, that's a net gain, though.
Yeah.
An old picture that you didn't have. Your family's interesting to me. I'd like to talk about your grandmother for a second.
Yeah.
Because she was very musical. Did she teach you how to play harmonica? Your grandma, and what did you call her?
Great. So my great grandmother played everything.
Okay.
She played mandolin, harmonica, guitar, taught herself, and her last name was Mayhem, but they called her Granny Ham.
Okay.
I've spent my whole life trying to have a cool nickname like Ham.
Oh, I thought Granny was gonna be the nickname.
No, Granny Ham. Like, how cool is that?
Makes me feel like some Jimmy Dean breakfast, you know? Yeah. So did she work with you on music, or did you just have it around all the time?
No, she was gone before I was born. But then my grandmother, my mom's mom, was very musical, and she may have taught me one chord. It might have been two, though. But I was always banging on something, and I've got Granny Ham's mandolin, and I've got Mimi's mandolin, too. I'm still terrible at mandolin, but they were all real patient. Everybody could sing.
When you were singing as a kid, where did you sing? Because it's not like you grew up in like a big place with lots of venues to go perform.
And I was too shy to do it anyway. So I sang all around the house, and then when I was growing up in Mammoth Spring, we lived really close to Hardy. Like, that's where I went to high school. Was over in Highland, and there was like an antique shop district down there, like canoe rentals and stuff like that, outfitters. And there was a gazebo down there, and I would go play there. I would play at the dulcimer shop. There was a guy at the dulcimer shop. His name was Jeff Camp, and he gave me dulcimer lessons. He tried to give me mandolin lessons, but turns out I just needed to stick with guitar. Mandolin was before guitar. Once guitar came along, I was like, oh, this is what I like.
As an impressionable youth, who believed in you, and it doesn't have to be believed in you to be a big, massive star like you are now, but who believed in you doing music? Because you weren't in a place where like a lot of people did anything creative. Same for me. Like people went to the mill where I came from.
Right.
So, but who believed in you and was like, hey, you should keep on with this, even though really nobody else around you is doing it?
Yeah, Mom was always super supportive. Of course, it was always fun for Mom, too, because if we both sang, then we have the opportunity to throw harmonies on stuff. And I would say there were some friends that we probably met them through church. I knew a couple of girls that sang, and we would get together and not really have jam sessions, but, pick a couple songs at each other's houses and stuff. And I went to bluegrass festivals. That's where I should be speaking on, because Turkey Track, the Wootons had a festival over at Wooten Park, which is over by Center Ridge, Arkansas. And I, whether I was shy or not, was in those jam sessions, holding a guitar, holding a mandolin. And then you're in a situation where you're around master players and you're a child and you can ask them whatever you want in the middle of a song. How do you play an F? And they would show you and go, just hold your hand like that and I'll point to you when we get to that chord.
That's cool.
Yeah. Bluegrass festivals is where it was at.
I want to play this new song. And by me saying I want to play it, I actually don't want to play anything. I want you to play it. But
You're welcome to play it.
You don't want that. I'm left-handed, or I would,
Me too.
You don't play the guitar left-handed.
I don't play left-handed.
But you're naturally left-handed?
I'm left-handed, and no one told me it was an option to play guitar that way. I might have gotten better faster.
I wonder, though, if you're better, though, because you're using your other hand to do more.
A different part of my brain.
Yeah, well...
It really messed up playing piano for me. And I think it's because I'm such a finger picker, and so things are so busy in the right hand and pretty chill in the left hand. And I feel like it's not always that way on drums or piano.
Do you play drums?
Oh, no. You want me to play drums like you want me to fly a helicopter.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough. That's all I need to know. Yeah, you don't play drums at all.
Anything that uses both arms and legs.
Tell me about this song, Light On in the Kitchen, before you play it here.
Yeah. This was, we wrote this during the year no one speaks of. And it was me, Connie Harrington, and Jesse Alexander. It was the first time we'd gotten together in that year. And I was also with a new publisher. And I love Jody Williams. I was so excited to be working with him. So this is the first song that got written. We're throwing all kinds of ideas out, like you do. And Connie just kind of says, a light on in the kitchen. And we're like, borrowed armadillo sauce. We're just, throwing lines out there trying to see if anything. And she says that, and we all went, ooh, There's always a light on in my kitchen. It's always going on in Mom's kitchen. Granny's, Mimi, Aunt Gloria. Yeah, well, I wonder why there's always a light on. So we just started examining that. It's for comfort, of course. That's so when you're at my house and you come down, you can find where the cups are real easy and make your way around. And then we thought, well, it wasn't just for that, now was it? So the more we sat around and talked about problems we had solved at kitchen tables, it really pointed out to me how sacred a kitchen is. Because even now, when we have get-togethers and stuff, we all end up around the island in the kitchen. And I was thinking back, college years, even just wild days. I'd be over at a friend in Little Rock, and we'd get a 6-pack of Heineken and a pack of Marlboro Lights, and we'd light them off the gas stove in the kitchen. And that's where we would solve the problems for that trip. So we kind of discovered how important and sacred the kitchen space was, and how minimal that effort was. Just something like a light on in the kitchen being so comforting that took no true effort to provide that comfort for you. Then after we've written the song, I sent it to Mom, and I sent it to Aunt Gloria, and I'm sending it to my sister, and slowly but surely now we still say I love you, because I come from a wonderful line of women that is quick to give you a hug and quick to tell you if they love you or if you've pissed them off. And now we tell each other, I'll leave the light on.
Oh, wow.
And so it became this new way to make me tear up. My aunt lives in Michigan, and she could text me and say, you're getting on stage. I'm going to bed. I'll leave the light on. Which is just, I'm thinking about you. And it's just songs give and give and give. And so we enjoyed writing the song. Me and Connie, we don't write nothing down until somebody cries anyway. And we were all sitting there just so full of love and thankful we were together and that we were healthy, and we're tearing up and we're writing the song. And then the song gives this other thing to my family, I'm sure to their families as well. And Jessie did say she was writing this song from her perspective. She's giving advice to her teenage daughter.
I feel like what she just said there, you could play some minor chords underneath it and just have her talking over it, and that's also a hit song.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Like that whole, what she just said, just strum some sad sounding chords under it.
Yeah.
And that's a song as well. I'm going to be putting that out. I'm going to steal everything you just said.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Okay, here is Ashley McBryde performing for us. This is Light On in the Kitchen. It's a new single too, right? Like this is the one you're coming with?
It's crazy because this song was the first thing we write in that year, in the Voldemort year, and during the Great Separation. And it's the first song inside that building as Jody Williams songs. And then when we go to make this record, Proper Record 3, I know I want it on there. And then of all of the songs that I had chosen for a single, this one hadn't raised its hand for me. And so when we thought maybe this should be the single, and somebody said that to me, I thought, really? Okay, let's try that. And it just feels so good. It feels so magical. I was playing in El Dorado the other day, and when I said, there's more to life than being skinny, all couple thousand of them just lost their minds screaming and shaking their heads. That feels so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good. I mean, have you heard her sing before this close?
Well,
it's really loud.
I have goosebumps.
No, I mean,
right
like
now.
it's like one of those really lucky things we get to be a part of.
No, yeah, I have goosebumps, and like what was in my mind during that, and I love that it's now a special thing for your family, but even for people listening that have lost their moms, Like, I just kept picturing that being an invitation, leaving that light on the kitchen for your mom, your grandma. They're always there. This presence of them, they're with you.
I didn't anticipate that when we started putting blurbs out and doing acoustic versions and putting stuff out on socials. The number of comments, which I try to stay out of. You know how it is in the comment section.
She assumes I know because I get a lot of hate. She's like, hey,
Everybody
Bobby, you
does.
know how it is. You get attacked.
If we're entertainers, we know to stay out of the comment section. And but I was getting in there, and it was, I lost my mom last year, or she's been gone 10 years, and now I feel like she's here again. Or, we posted a teaser, and my team had come into a rehearsal, and they were like, hey, we need to do a teaser real quick. Like, you're doing 19 things, come do this thing. And we need to do a teaser for Light On in the Kitchen, and here's what I need you to say. And I said, I don't want to say any of that. Just let me call Mom. Hit record on your phone. So we did it that way. And then people's responses to that were, oh, my God, what I would give to hear my mom say, sure, honey. Ugh. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Hopefully it's a nice, warm sting. But it just feels like the right thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, I have a couple questions for you here.
Yeah.
You have come up through it, meaning you were playing bars.
Oh, yeah.
In like Memphis,
Yep.
you're living in, northeastern Arkansas.
Yep.
And so that's quite the scene, legendary scene. Like a lot of great blues artists, rock artists have come up through Memphis, and you're playing some of those clubs, those bars, and you start to move around a little bit. But did you have a time where you had to do, like the Beatles back in the day, they had to learn every cover ever?
Yeah.
So you just had to, was that something that early on you did? You're like, I have to learn every 80s and 90s country song ever.
Well, it wasn't when in the Memphis scene, it wasn't more country songs I had to learn. I was like, oh man, as amazing as my Pam Tillis is, it's not always going to fly here. So that became the Jackson 5. T-Pain at one point. Lady Gaga, which leads us into...
I fell in love with a stripper.
Right, absolutely. I'm going to buy you a drink. And legit, people are still like, play, buy you a drink. And that became, learning to play like Lady Gaga songs and stuff like that became a portion of my bar show called Lady Jukebox.
So people could just request a song from the jukebox? Or,
They could, we would
or
take
tip
at
for
least a portion of the show, and I would give you maybe a decade to choose from or whatever, and say, here are the rules. If I know it, I have to attempt it. And if I don't know it, I can't attempt it. I'm sorry. So they would be like, prop me up beside the jukebox. So I'd play a chorus of that. And then we could, from there, they would be like, 4 non-blinds. You just try to find a way to get there. The John Denver.
Did you make a bunch of money doing that, though, since it was interactive? Would they tip you more if you played their song than if you were just playing?
Yeah, especially when somebody's like, I'm like, this guy wants me to play Jack and Diane. And then one guy's like, I'll give you $20 not to. And I'm like,
that's funny.
Y'all duke it out.
Yeah.
Y'all duke it out. There's the tip jar.
When you won the Grammy,
I remember that.
did they tell you when did they, I didn't watch the show because I had to leave. I
Right.
worked the pre and then I left.
Right. You have a lot to do
come
that
home.
day.
Well, no, then I had to give you the show the next morning.
Yeah.
Here. So I flew, but I didn't watch the show. Was that, what part of the show? Was it pre?
It was in the pre-tells.
Okay. How does that happen? How do you know you won?
Well, they do it just like the regular Grammys, and there's like performances, and there's a band, and
Really?
there's a horn section. I love horns.
And it's not on TV.
No.
Wow.
And there's cameras and everything. Like it goes around and it shows it on the Jumbotron. And it's a really long walk from anywhere you are to that stage. And I was seated with my sister and some members of my team. And I didn't know that our category was being read at the time. Because I'm asking my sister Aubrey, should I give you my clutch or should I just like put it in this chair? And then I heard them say Carly Pierce. And I thought maybe if we had won in that category that they would say the song first. Never wanted to be that girl because that's what's winning here. It's the song. But they said Carly Pierce and Ashley McBryde never wanted to be that girl. And I just started shouting expletives. Because I'm sure you saw the gown. And I would love for anyone to have as much trust in anything as I had in that gown that day.
Wow.
It was a long walk, and then I thought about jogging. I got down to the end of the aisle, and I saw Carly, and I stuck my hand out like we were going to Laverne and Shirley up the stairs. And then I realized I was walking a little bit too quick a pace because the dress couldn't keep all
You're
the way
losing
up.
trust? You're losing
I was
trust
losing a
quickly?
little.
Yeah.
My faith was questioned, was tested.
Okay, look. Light On in the Kitchen is the new song from Ashley. We love it. I did say on E when I was that night, because I talked to you and Brandy Carlisle, you're
Yeah.
the only two on my Mount Rushmore of vocalists. It was all your
Thank
heads.
you.
Mm. Just you, nobody else. We don't need anybody else.
Thank you.
Just you and Brandy Carlisle.
She's so wonderful.
Just
There's not anything she can't sing.
We feel the same about you, right, guys? And she
Oh,
sang
yeah.
it all,
Thanks.
too. Yes. So there's that. And then,
We should invite Brandy into the flash mob karaoke thing.
Come on.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a bit expensive. Talent fees, I'll be honest with you. As somebody who's put together a couple
we'll donate
TV.
our time.
Okay. AshleyMcBryde.com to see all the solo dates and fairs and festivals, and out with Eric Church and Jelly Roll. And I mean, she's just awesome. And she's an animal lover, which makes me love you
sure
even
am.
more. I know. It's amazing. And, Linville, everybody, all my friends are on it with you. That's super cool. So just love it. You're amazing. Anything you want to say, Amy, before we let Ashley go?
Yeah, I mean,
Don't go? Okay, that's correct. I say the same thing. Yes.
I've always loved your energy, and so I just didn't know what you do to protect that. Like, if there's something you could share that someone else might be able to pick up, like, do you practice gratitude, mindfulness? Like, what do you do?
I do
to
practice
take care of
gratitude
yourself?
first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's been a really long time since I've had a hangover. I'm really thankful for that. And it's not because I'm immune to them. So I do wake up and go, wow, thank you so much for not. But I do practice gratitude. And also I've been working on being really present. And that sounds a little bit like, just be very present. No, like I have something I need to do tonight. And I have something I need to do tomorrow that I need to prepare for. And so I was texting with some friends and being like, I'm ready to go and speak with Bobby and everybody. And she said, don't forget to listen to the song you need to listen to and prep for that. And I said, I can't do that because I'm not going to do a good job being present with Bobby if I'm listening to this other thing all the way there. So just remembering to be in the moment. And I've been working with horses lately. That'll teach you a lot about gratitude and patience and how to stay in a relationship with something that is mutual respect instead of anything else.
Love that.
And what I respect most about horses is they can walk and poop.
Mm-hmm. They don't stop.
Braggers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get it, buddy. You can do it all. And when you pee, it's loud. It's awesome.
And they get so
jealous.
much better gas mileage than my truck does.
Crazy. All right, Ashley McBryde, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
One of the best. There she is.
Yeah.
Ashley McBryde, everybody.